Manufacturers and other members of the organized private sector said the falling Naira value at the official on-power market was having a severe negative impact on their bottom lines. Specifically, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry, as well as the Nigerian Association of Small-Scale Industry said their members were already scaling down operation over the development, a situation that might lead to the sacking of more workers. The Naira vulnerability on its I and E window has continued despite a relented effort by the federal government to improve the liquidity of the forex market. Now, according to data from the FMDQ Security Exchange, the Naira now lost about 38.91% of its value since October the 3rd, when it closed trading at 745 Naira per dollar on the I and E window. The continued decline of the Naira is happening despite efforts, including forex or clearing of forex backlogs by the government to boost liquidity in the forex exchange market. But still, the Naira has yet not responded positively to this latest injection of liquidity, to the dismay of many. However, members of the organized private sector, including the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry, have all expressed worry that more companies may wind down operation in Nigeria if the trend of foreign exchange scarcity continues in the country. But the big question and the big story for today is, with all the effort taken by the CBN and the coordinating minister of the economy on the issue of forex liquidity, why are all these measures not yielding the required results? And what will the continuous issue of depreciation of the Naira mean for a country that has already been faced with so many, and a country that depends largely on import of raw materials? Well, a look at this and more is what this edition of the Big Story is all about. And we're talking about depreciation, or further depreciation of the Naira, and the resultant effect on the economy. And that's what we're looking at as a major one today on the Big Story. We're looking at the further depreciation of the Naira and the resultant effect on the economy, and also taking a critical look at what the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, as well as other affiliates also with the organized private sector, came out to say on Sunday as it concerns them downsizing and letting many of their workers go. But anyway, we're not going anywhere but sitting right here in the studio to talk about it. And I do have a guest, rather calling an economist, but we do also understand that is also the civil society organization, a better push for a better well-being of Nigerians. And I'm talking of no other person but Prince Kojetaway. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Deltans. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning to anyone, anywhere, wherever you are watching us from this morning.
Well, I doubt it will be a good one for the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and also the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry, because, if you look at all of it, the association and even the Association of Small Industries had a lot to say on Sunday when they had a briefing with newsmen, and all is concerned on the constant fall of the Naira, both at the official and the power market, especially as it's impacting negatively on their bottom line. But one that's already getting the government jittery about that their response on Sunday is the issue of them planning to scale down their operation, number one, and also the resultant issue or effect of them even laying off some workers. That I know has gotten the government a bit jittery after that very talk on Sunday from that very organization. But anyways, for better understanding of the general public, I have two quick questions. And the first one will be, really, is it a dire situation for the manufacturers as it concerns the issue of forex? And do you feel that them scaling down workers is just what they need to help stay afloat?
As it is now, you begin to ask yourself, Nigerians tend to wonder, what's the challenge? What's the problem?
Yeah. That's why I said for better understanding of the general public.
What's the problem? Because since this present administration, President Tinubu's administration, came to power, the day they were inaugurated, he took very fast, decisive steps. One of the steps was to float the Naira. You know, the former government of Muhammadu Buhari pegged an official rate to a Naira, and at that time it was 440 something to a Naira. As of June, while the black market rate was hovering about between 600 and 700 at that time.
200 Naira differential.
Yes. So, you know, there's this textbook theories. There's this textbook theories.
Textbook theories.
Yes. Well, one of them is that a free economy, you liberalize your Naira. You let it compete. It's free market, so the competition.
Let it just take its own push. Let its own flow.
Yes.
Okay.
Let it take its own shape.
Okay.
So that was what President Tinubu came, and the theory was that as soon as the Naira is floated, more foreign investors will come in and say, the Naira is floated, let's go there. And by the time we go there, they will come in with their dollars into our economy. Because it's floated and it's
not government controlled anymore.
And it will be competitive and all that. But what our government, what the present administration did critically look at was our present situation. If that was being done, maybe during...
So it was a lofty idea, though.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with it. But you have to look at yourself. You have to look at your environment. Now, I want to use an analogy.
Yes.
You know, Nigerians will love the Premier League.
Yeah, the EPL.
The EPL. We love the EPL. And you know, below the EPL is the championship. Below the championship is the League One, there's League Two, there's League Three. Now, what I'm using this analogy is this. What we are trying to do at this point is that we have not looked critically at your own situation, because forget about what the World Bank is saying. Forget about what the IMF is saying. You look at your own critical situation. Then you ask yourself, how do I survive in this particular situation? You don't make a jump because you think that's the ideal. That's the theory. That's the textbook situation. But practically, can you survive if you make that jump?
So we've taken a leap of faith, but it looks as if we are thinking.
It's not a leap of. What we did is that when we are suited for League One or League Two, then what we did is to make a move and land
into the
Premier League. If you watch teams that get promoted from the Championship into the Premier League,
they build up.
They build up gradually. Some of them don't survive. They throw them back. They struggle. So that's why you see what is happening now. As a country, right now, at this moment, we don't have the capacity to float the Naira and survive. We don't have the capacity, because you are floating your Naira. It simply means that you have somewhere different avenues where you earn foreign exchange from. Now, like you mentioned earlier, our economy is import dependent.
Very well.
Even the producers in this country, the producers in the country,
they import raw material.
They import raw material. They import all sorts of things. Nigerian bottling company, Nigerian brewery. Now, be shocked. The plastic, this Coke that we drink, pet Coke that we drink, that plastic, the cover, they import them.
Wow.
Right now, you see that the price of Coke is shifting, moving up. Why the price, that is the pet itself, why the price of the bottle is almost stable. Then you ask yourself, why? It's the plastic. That plastic and that cover. They are importing them. Because in the bottle is already there. All they need to do is the content they pour it in. So you see that the price of the bottle is stable. But the price of that plastic is rising up. The price of bottled water, even our local producers, right here, is rising up. Why is it rising? Is it not water? Water that you drink, you just drink your bowl, you pump water, you purify it, you fill. So how come the price of water is rising? Is it plastic? Plastic. We import plastic.
But funny enough, we have rubber companies here.
Where I run my enterprise, there is a plastic company that compress, all these outside boys moving on the streets. It's just behind me there. So one day I was discussing, I said, this thing you are doing. He said, I collect, then I compress, and the Chinese people, they will come. Chinese, there are Chinese all over in this country. They will come. They will pack all the compressed plastic. They will take them to China and produce and bring back in bottles, in whatever plastic form, back to us. Now you ask yourself, each time, even right now in the market, a canned drink like Heineken is scarce right now in the market. So I was discussing with one of the major dealers in Warri. He said, he said it's the can, that can. The can. He said, importing the can is becoming challenging for Nigerian brewery. So I said, I think about 2 days ago, Malta Guinness, canned Malta Guinness.
We'll not be giving them cheaper publicity. We'll not call their different names. Okay. But yeah, the total understanding of it.
It has shut up. Why? The can. That can is not the content itself now. It's the can. So when you look at all of this, you now ask yourself, does the government really understand what is going on? I feel for the manufacturer. Look at Glasgow.
So do you feel downsizing is just the way for them to remain afloat?
If they want to survive, Glasgow Smith Bisham has moved out of Nigeria.
That we know.
Jubilee's syringe.
Yes.
They've also they say, we are leaving. What do you want them to do?
P&G,
they can't survive. You can't, because today, look at the official rates. The government told us that, if we float, they will merge at a particular point.
Yes.
But if you watch,
they've not.
They will never merge. Why the black market rate is going, right now the black market rate is 1,220. The official rate is hovering between 900 and 1,000 and something. So, see, we are blaming President Buhari for pegging that dollars and saying, you should not have pegged. There is corruption.
Okay. As much as you've really given us a great analogy of what seems to be happening, I'm a bit concerned about why is the Naira constantly falling? Because let's look at it. Now, the Naira has depreciated about 38.91% against the dollar at the official and I&E window in the last 3 months. And funny enough, the Naira began 2024 at 998.46 Naira to a dollar. That's where we started though, at the official window at 900.
Fair to 1,000.
I checked on Wednesday. First day of 2024, it was 998 Naira to a dollar.
By Wednesday, it's fair to 1,000.
It now declined to 900, which means it will decline. In 2023, the very last day of 2023, it was 907 Naira. So, funny enough, it declined by almost 8.97%. But just like you said, a day that got all of us really scared and started looking at it was on the 3rd of January, which was a Wednesday.
Yes.
The Naira now also fell to 1,035 Naira to a dollar.
Yes.
When that happened, somebody called and I was like, whoa, are you sure it is? He said, yes, go check. Now, this has continued to be, despite the federal government's killing backlogs of forex scarcity that we owe. So, I really want to understand, why is the Naira constantly falling? Yes, you give us a reason, okay, we are import dependent, the government should not have done this, but why? Is it that we're not getting enough foreign exchange? Is it that we are not... Many issues are pushing for the Naira. We've understood that the government removed some commodities that were banned to have imports. So let's look at it. Is it that is also a reason for all of it? Why is the Naira constantly falling?
Now, if you are poor, you look at what's your source of income.
Okay.
You look at your source of income.
Okay, yeah, to know why you are getting that as your change. Why are you poor?
What are my sources of income? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Where is the money
coming from?
Where is the money? So what do I do? Am I going to increase income A, income B, like that?
To show up my revenue.
Now, Nigeria, basically our source of income is from crude oil.
Yes.
Now, that crude oil, what most people don't know is this. Extremely, during the Buhari government mortgaged our crude oil sales.
Mortgaged?
Yes, when I say mortgage, in the sense that, we are importing fuel. So what they did, they sold some of the crude oil into the future for some of those companies to bring fuel for us. So that's why you see that before, in those days, once the price of crude oil shoots up, we start earning.
Wow, okay.
We start earning. But right now, the question you ask yourself is that how come the price of crude oil hovering about 80 something, 90 something, there's nothing for us. We are still struggling. Now, apart from that, what quantity are we producing per day?
But I thought we were up to now 1.8 million barrels per day.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Even if we do that, we don't have access because we've already sold some of them before. They sold them. They said, okay, Mr. Gbogbadia, your company, you bring fuel for us. So from year so to year so, you have so and so crude oil.
So all you are saying, we're not getting forex.
We are not. Last year, JP Morgan brought a report to me. Look at the point our foreign reserve was as low as $3 million. People say, "I'm a lie." That's what some people are saying. I'm a lie. How can that be? But you can see that there's some truth in what JP Morgan was saying. Because basically, how come the price of crude oil is rising, and yet
we're not getting it?
Because I remember during Obasanjo's government, Yaradua government,
some part of Jonathan's government,
crude oil was high, and that at that point the Nigerian government would pump dollars into the hand. People, then apart from that, there's also a challenge. Nigerians, because of the way the country is right now, almost everybody wants to go abroad to go to school. Not that they love going to school, but they want to japa. Find that as the route to japa. And all of that
is dollar dependent.
So you see that we have...
The strain is much.
The strain is much. We are not earning dollars. Everybody wants dollars to do one thing or the other. The government wants dollars to do one thing or the other. The companies want dollars. Now, the last time I was on this program, I said, look, I feel strongly that this government, they took a wrong step by floating. I said, look, they should have, because that's why I use the analogy of us being in League One, jumping to come and play in the Premier League. You look at your own personal situation, then you find
look at your players, look at what you have. Management team.
You don't just make that move because you think it's...
Because you get relegated even before the end of the season.
Which the government should have still pegged this Naira. The reason being that now those companies in Nigeria, GlaxoSmithKline, the ones that say we are closing down, we are going.
Syringe.
Somehow, one way or the other, they were still surviving. Now the challenge we had with that pegging was that there was corruption around that process. They said racketeering. Now you ask yourself, me and you, do we know where those dollars are?
No.
Now me and you, they go carry the dollars, they racketeer. No. What the government should have done,
go for those people.
Sanitize those systems so that those companies producing in Nigeria, will have access to those dollars, and they will keep producing. Then they can come back within a year, within 1 year, 2 years, and start taking basic steps. One, to show our oil production. Then those deals they have with those companies, the former government have with those companies, find a way to stop them so that we can have access
to more dollars.
to more dollars from crude oil. Because right now, then we can also, you know, okay.
Oh, well, it's really a sad tale, but I'll please you to hold on. That we need to go on a break now, but when we come back, we'll continue our discussion as we look at it, and not just look at it, but also find other means of really working around the present situation we are in. Depreciation of the Naira, and constantly is falling by the day. What needs to be done to help salvage those companies that are already saying they will either downsize or close shop? Let's go on a break.